Welcome to episode 32 of the Curve Triangle Tail Tuner build. Um, I decided I'm going to go ahead and stick with this control layout that I originally came up with. And I'm going to go ahead and mark this thing out for drilling and cutting. Okay, I masked it off so that I can just mark right on the front. And I messed around with moving stuff, but I think I'm just going to leave it just the way this is. So that's the plan. I'm going to mark it out. Okay, got it all marked out. Probably can't see all the lines real well, but yeah. Jack will go there. That's the two three-ways. That's the two on-off switches. That's the volume, and that's kill switch. So, time on sprockets when we drill. While I was laying that stuff out on the pick guard or control panel, I was trying to get spacing and everything for stuff, so I went and dug up knobs. I found two black switch hat knobs for the three ways, and I found a gold knob for the volume. So I can always paint the black ones. So yeah, a few more parts. There's a lot of little details. So. Okay, got all the holes started to 1/16 bit, and now it's time to drill them all to proper size. Okay, making progress. How's that look? For these guys here, I'm not going to drill out the screw holes any larger until I actually select the screws I'm going to use. Got to find like 4 matching gold ones. And then for these slots here, I'm thinking like a cutoff wheel and the Dremel. So I guess slots is going to be next. Okay, found a carbide cutoff blade. This will definitely make quick work of this. And there we go. All done. All drilled up. I think the next thing is I need to get a piece of cardboard, transfer all the switches over the cardboard, and start wiring. Okay, got them transferred over to a piece of cardboard here for wiring, and now it's time to have at it. This is going to take me a while, I can tell you right now. You know, this is at least, I don't know. I'm not in a hurry. I haven't done it in a while, so I mean, if I was like had all the perfect best tools and everything, I could probably kick this out in a little over an hour maybe. But yeah, so I'll be back. Okay, I've been thinking about this, and there's going to be a lot of little wires running around in here, and keeping all that stuff shielded and such might be an issue. And this guitar doesn't exactly have, a cavity that can be painted or lined with tape or something. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to go ahead and wire it up, and if it turns out that it needs to be shielded, what I can do is, like, these guys will be all sticking out here and stuff, is what I can do is I can take that copper sheet that I was thinking about using to make this out of, and I can create a little copper box to cover the whole thing, and that would shield it pretty well. And then I could also, I've got some shielding paint I could put on the inside. I could also take some of the copper and cut it out and drill it appropriately and glue that in place behind here. So there's options if it becomes necessary. And it's going to look more or less like this. when it's done. So I'm thinking if there was like a little enclosed copper box about that big with a copper back on it and everything, that wouldn't look that bad. So, or some other option is I might be able to find some kind of plastic. Well, but it's got to have this diagonal on it, so maybe I could just box all this. But yeah, I'll find a electronics test kit assembly box thing and like cover it with shielding tape, something like that, and then slap it over it. But I don't know. Blow up that bridge when I get to it, right? I'll be back. So, hit a snag here. 7 terminal 3-way switch. Won't work for double pole, double throw because it is not 2 totally independent poles. I need something that has at least 2 switchable terminals and then an input-output terminal that chooses between those two. And then it has to be a double pole, so I need 2 of those basically. And this has 1 terminal that can choose from any of 3 pairs of terminals, but it's only got 1 input-output. Because you can wire the switches, like 2 in, 1 out, or 1 in, 2 out for just the most basic kind of switch kind of thing. And yeah, so I need a double pole switch that has 2 switchable leads. So you got 2 coming out and multiple ones coming in. At least 2 for each. So I need something that can take at least 4 leads in and can put out 2 leads independently. This can take as many as 6 leads in, but only puts out 1. So yeah, I don't really get the point of this. I mean, it's like there's no point in having this second set of terminals because there's no difference between soldering something here and soldering something there that I see. The way the switch behaves. Basically, it's a 3-way switch, 1, 2, 3, that'll switch between, like, that's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. And then it does the same thing for these 3 poles, but it already does it for these poles, so who cares? You just wire everything to this side, you're done. So yeah, another one of these stupid switches. But I think a 5-way will do it, because I think a 5-way's got 2 actually independent leads that can be switched like 3 ways with a couple of them combined in parallel for your total of 5. So let me dig up some 5-ways. I got a pair of new ones and 1 used, I think. So I'll be back. Well, I found some knobs. That's a start. Still out on the tools table. I never put them away. I got a second table where I just put like all the tools and parts and stuff as I'm working on things. And when I'm done, where it gets full, I clean it all up, put away all the tools and all the extra parts and stuff. So yeah, let me fish through these, pick a couple, and get things hooked up. See what's up here. Okay, I took the 2 new ones in the bag. All 3 seem to be identical, but these 2 new ones seem to have smoother operation. So, okay, I looked it up, and the 5-way with 8 lugs. This side and this side are totally isolated from each other. With this guy, the 3-way with 7 lugs, basically you get 1 output and you get 2 sets of 3 of you get 3 inputs and you get 1 output, and then they give you an extra 3 input terminals. But these and these are always connected together when the switches are thrown in that particular setting. With this, you've basically got 2 side by side 3 in 1 out switches that also does the pair of 1 and 2 and the pair of 2 and 3. So you got 3 inputs, 1, 2, and 3, and you got 1 output for each side. You got 3 inputs, 1, 2, and 3 for each side. You got 1 output for each side because it's 2 complete switches. This is not 2 complete switches. This is basically 1 switch with 2 sets of input terminals, 2 identical sets. This is 2 complete switches. So yeah, this will work. And they have the same footprint. So yeah, all the cutting that's been done so far will still work too. So it's all good. Okay, so basically all we got to do is just slip these puppies in where the old ones were, and time to rock on. Okay, I got some shielded 4 conductor here. I stripped all the black off the outside, and I'm going to basically take it apart and get this red one out of here and use it for a hot wire and start hooking things up. Well, that was pretty easy. That's it for the phase switch. All you do is run a jumper from, let's see, I'm using the position 1 and position 5. So you want a jumper position 1 and 5 on your positive side and on your negative side. And then these 2 center terminals are your 2 outputs. And, let's see if you're in position 1. It doesn't really matter, if you put the switch this way, that's position 1, and that way it's 5, so. But yeah, one of these will be positive and one will be negative, depending on which way you install the switch, basically. And the coil A from the pickup, you hook up the hot wire to either of these red lugs, and you hook up the black wire to either of these black lugs, and that's it. And then the 2 outputs go to the series parallel, and the 2 inputs. Let's see, the A coil input's going to come from the on-off switch for the A coil. Well, the positive side goes through the on-off switch. The negative side just comes straight from the pickup coil. Well, it's turning out to be a lot easier than I thought. That's the basics of the humbucker switch, believe it or not. Everything else is, you're going to have the output from the phase switch coming in for your A coil input, and you'll have the negative terminal from the B coil coming in, and you'll have the output of the B coil on-off switch coming in for the positive side on B coil. And then you've also got your 2 output leads that go to, let's see what comes after this, the volume control. Yeah, so as far as the switch circuit itself goes, it's real simple. You've got, I'm using the number 1 and number 5 position, and when you're in the number 5 position, you want to take your 2 inputs, which would be your third pickup, either your bridge or your neck, however you want to look at it, and you want to jumper them together, and that's it. So now the individual things are wired. Now I just got to connect the dots, wire one switch to the next. Yeah, I did it in blue because it's really neither positive nor negative, hot nor ground. What this wire represents is this is the wire that connects the negative side of coil A to the positive side of coil B when you're in series and humbucker mode. So yeah, that's what this little physical connection represents. And since it's going from the negative of the first coil to the positive of the second coil, it's neither really positive nor negative. It's the negative one and the positive of the next, so I made it blue in order to keep it. It's a different color than, you know, all the four other colors in a four-strand conductor, so nice and neutral color. Slight change of plans. I don't need one in and two out. All I need is just one in and one out, or nothing out. So yeah, I'm just going to use a regular on-off instead of a two-way on-on switch. Okay, got the coil A on-off switch hooked up to the phase switch to the hot side. From coil A, the hot wire from coil A is going to go to this terminal right here, and the ground wire from coil A is going to go to one of these black wire terminals on the phase switch. And then these two terminals are the output of the phase switch, which I now need to send over to the series parallel switch. Okay, so where are we at? This is our phase switch. Here's our A coil. Goes to our phase switch. These two center guys here, these two center guys are going to be the output of our phase switch. So these essentially become the new output of our coil A once we've messed around with the phase. So it doesn't matter which one's which because they're interchangeable depending on which way the phase is set. So I decided I'd call this one over here, which is actually closer to where the connection needs to be made. I'd call this the positive one and that one the negative, just for wiring purposes. So we're going to call this, whichever way our phase is set, we're going to say that this is our new coil A output plus, and this is our coil A output minus. And this is where coil A plus hooks up on the humbucker circuit, on the series parallel circuit. And so then coil A minus will come from here to wherever it goes. I haven't done that one yet. And then coil B plus will come off of this switch. And then coil B minus will come from the pickup itself. And that'll be the four connections in. And then I'll have two wires going out, hot and ground, which will go over here to the volume. And then from the volume, this will come from the output of the volume to here, and then from here to ground, so that your output of the volume is going to be grounded when you press the kill button, and it kills all the sound. And then the output of the volume is also going to go over here to the jack. And yeah, so I guess the next thing is going to be to hook up this negative output for the A coil coming off the phase switch. And there it is. A coil negative to B side of input output terminal of the series parallel switch. Okay, negative from coil A, once it's gone through the phase switch here, goes to the I/O terminal on side 2 of the series parallel. Okay, outside of series parallel, which also happens to be the same thing as coming straight off the output of the phase on the hot side, goes to the input for the volume control. Okay, output from the volume pot goes to the jack. Get the fuck out of the screen. Yeah. Output from, Where's the middle string? There we go. Okay, so output from the volume pot goes to the jack, and it also goes to the hot side of the kill switch. And except for hooking up the 4 leads from the 2 coils of the pickup, that's the entire circuit except for grounds. So now I just got to do the grounds. This is going to be ground, and then I need to ground this, and this, and that, and that, and this. And I think that's it. Just what the doctor ordered. It's the ground wire out of that first 4-conductor cable that I took apart. The one with the green shielding foil tape. It also had one of these wires in it. I'm just going to see how many things I can put one at the jack, run it over to the pickup, the volume control ground terminal, and then up to the body of the pot, and ground that as well, and then over to the kill switch, and then I can bring it back around this way and possibly catch both of the ground connectors on the 2 5-way switches, and I think that might do it all. One wire to rule them all. Common negative bus, as that's known in cars. Usually the common negative bus consists of your black battery cable that runs from your battery to your firewall, and then everything metal on the car. Okay. Ground wire from ground at the jack to ground on the series parallel switch, to ground on the phase switch, to the ground terminal on the volume pot, to the ground the case on the volume pot, to the negative side of the kill switch. And that's the negative bus for the circuit. And the only thing left to do is connect the pickup. So, I'm wondering how I can do this, or what's going to be the best way. I'd kind of like to test this before I hook everything up. Maybe I'll hook up the pickups and test it, and then I'll disconnect the pickup and install this and install the pickup and stuff. I still got to figure out exactly how I'm going to install the pickup. I think I'm going to use a ring. I want it to be or a ring or springs and screws and surface mount, because I want it to be adjustable. So, but yeah, so yeah, I guess you see, the pickup's got to be in the guitar for me to really test the circuit. So, I don't know, let me think about it for a minute. What's our time at here? 24. Thinking maybe I'll end this video. Yeah, because I gotta figure out something about the pickup for mounting it so that I can get it into the guitar, then run the wire off, and then I guess hook the wire up to this, and then I can test all this. And then once I've confirmed that this all works, I can disconnect the pickup and mount this in the control panel and glue the control panel in. And I don't know, I got to think about the best order to do all this in. So yeah, I'm going to end the video here. So until the next one, everybody have a good one.